When you've finished and everything is shiny and you've coated all of the chalk pastel, you'll take it over to the drying rack and have it dry. And once it is dry, then the next class we're going to decorate it. On the second day of the project, you're going to decide what type of background design you want to add. So you might have a warm sky and snow or a cool sky and snow. And we're going to want to add some trees. Now I've started a couple different ideas that I want to share with you. So one idea is you could draw with a black marker or black Sharpie, and you can draw some trees, some winter trees that don't have leaves on them. And you'll notice that the trees that start towards the bottom of the page are larger, and the trees that start towards the top of the snow are much smaller. So I'm going to draw one of these trees for you, just so you can see how it goes. And then you'd have all this snow to add in other details, like maybe you want to add some footprints, maybe you want to use some white paper and cut out a snowman, maybe you want to make some winter animals. All right, so if I put a tree maybe right here, it's going to be a little smaller than this tree, and maybe a little smaller than those, but it will be bigger than that tree. So I'm going to start by drawing the trunk, and the trunk's going to be a little thicker. And then to start this tree, you could start it as a Y, and then you can have a couple more branches come off. And the idea is the branches just reach up, and each line you draw can have more coming off of it. And you really want to have a lot of branches with some long lines. And you could work on these for a while. So this is one idea. And I wanted to show you the footprint idea. If I wanted to add footprints in here, I'm going to grab a gray marker. And the footprints towards the bottom of the snow page are going to be larger. And then as they go up, it's a little tricky to do, but they're going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. Okay, just to create that illusion of distance. And like I said, then you can add animals. And then our last stop would be the paint table, where you can add some white snow on the branches and you can flick some snow to make it look like it's falling. The other idea is this is kind of a different view. So this you're a little bit closer. You might be standing in the woods and you have these big trees. And it's the same idea. Trees that are towards the bottom are closer to us, they're bigger. These were just drawn with a brown marker, and so I can do one for you. Trees that are further up are going to be skinnier. And you could add branches on these, or you could just keep them really simple. Here I'll add just another skinny tree. And it's just going to go all the way off the top of the page because we're standing on the ground in the middle of the woods. Now these shadows are done with a little bit of paint, and so I got a water cup, a small brush, and I used our white paint, which is dirty, and actually that dirtiness of it kind of works really well. And you notice that they're all angled in the same direction. You don't want them coming straight at you because that's not as interesting as having them go off in a direction. And I just start at the bottom. And you notice you pick up a little bit of brown from the tree, which is great. And then, oop, I bump into this one. I'm going to skip it. And the shadow's going to continue. And so I'm just going to touch it up a little bit. Your shadows could be a light blue. They could be a light purple. Mine are just kind of a really, really light brown. And again, you have the bottom of the snow that you can add snowmen, you can add animals. And your last stop then would be the paint table. At the paint table, you have a couple of options. There'll be some regular paint that you can use with a brush, and you want to add some paint onto your trees to show that there's some snow on them. So these ones you can just kind of add some along one edge. And with the other ones, you could just add some. You might want a really small brush, but you can load some up on the top of the branches. okay? Just to add a little bit of white. And then for the snowflakes, to make it look like it's snowing, we mixed up some paint and some water, and we're gonna use these really short bristly brushes and do this splatter trick with them. And so I'll dip it, and I'll just do one area. And this is why we're doing it at a separate table today, so that we keep our spaces clean, but then you can see some snowflakes. If you want to add some bigger ones, you can use the end of a brush, dip it in the paint, and then, you know, maybe the tiny snowflakes are far away, and these ones you make with your brush handle are closer. So you're going to use your creativity and imagination, and you can combine some really fun things to make some beautiful winter scenes.